Issues and coming up right now, more issues are coming up as there is a very serious breaking news now that autopsy was carried out and some elements of poison was seen in the body of the distinguished Senator Akpabio. Hello everyone, this is Village Voice TV and we're here to give you up-to-date information of everything happening in the entertainment space and also as it concerns the government of the day. It is really pertinent to note that right now some very bizarre things are happening that people cannot really comprehend or people cannot really understand. As an autopsy was carried out on the body of a distinguished senator, the number three man in the Federal Republic, and it was discovered that there were some elements of poison in his body. The $1 million question everybody seems to be asking right now is, how did this poison come about? Yes, how did this poison come about? Before poison comes to somebody's body, there needs to be a lot of things must have transpired, and it's not just a poison that happened to once. This is must have been a culmination of different things, things that might have happened a very long time. And with the way the whole thing is going about right now, people are really finding it difficult to really understand that, okay, this is what happened, this is not what happened. And it's really giving mixed feelings to how certain things or how certain people carelessly live their lives. I mean, just take a good example from the situation where the young girl Komi, who disrespected the air hostess, suddenly now came out to open up that she actually had some connections, with the Senate president, and with the elections coming again up in 2 years' time right now. People can't really say or tell where the whole issues come from. If it come from the women, or if it came from his political allies. And Akpabio has actually also made so many enemies, and some of other school of thought could also even be thinking if it's actually even also from Natasha, who has actually been in the news for a very long time. So these are a couple of things that have actually been making people have different ideologies, different connections, different feelings of to what exactly is happening in the palace. And now it's really, really pertinent to know that with the way things are going, it also might be a little bit difficult for him to take back his seat, come the next elections, because at this point in time now, people from different diverse will be wanting to also have their voices, heard as to what exactly is happening. People want to logically have some things to say and some things to do. This is actually the first time a senator, a high-ranking senator, because the Senate president is actually the highest-ranking senator in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because he controls the Senate. He presides over the Senate, and if you must know, the statutory responsibility and duty of the Senate is to see that they make laws, laws that would be binding to the people, laws that will be used to make everybody know and see that of a truth. There are a couple of things that needs to take place. If anybody will want to logically have a grasp of what's happening in UK, because as it is right now, Fabio's wife has also still not even been given some form of leverage to even have access to the husband. And when someone is not given leverage and access to even see the husband, you should also know that this calls for some serious worry. Yes, this calls for some serious worry. This calls for some serious fear. This calls for some serious trepidation. And these are some of the things that when they happen like this, people from different walks of life will have their own different perceptions to how things are being handled and things are being done. And in all of it, it is still pertinent to note that Senator Akpabio also really needs to understand that this one now is even beyond the wife, because for an autopsy to be conducted on someone, it just shows that the issue has gone above board. And the autopsy now that was conducted, if it was maybe like a terminal illness, for instance, it could have been a different ball game. But this time around now, this wasn't a terminal illness. This was something that was contacted along the line. And when people do not actually live a proper life, now expose themselves to some of these issues that cannot be properly handled, you now know that it calls for some very serious worry and serious concern. And right now, we are in the point of no return. We are in the point of, do we go front? Do we go back? What exactly should we do? Because people all over the world seem to have a different mindset, a different perception, a different ideology, and it is actually getting more difficult, because up till now we've been waiting to have a statement from the presidency. There's not been any formal statement from the presidency telling us that, okay, see. These are actually some of the issues that we are looking at. These are actually some of the issues that we are trying to have a leeway to see that, well, whatever that happens, we should naturally have an we should naturally have some very strong voices that will culminate into strategic activity that can really strengthen or make people to have a different mindset, a different understanding, a different feeling, a different total analysis of how things should go. These are some of the issues that we have been trying to talk over time, and if time permits, it will really, really be wonderful to know that Governor Akpabio, former Governor Akpabio, is actually in some very, very serious trouble. And with this trouble coming, the tendency of him losing his seat is about 70%, if not more. And it is really painful to see that even with all the press releases, all the press conferences that this woman have been doing, it is still quite difficult for her to have an understanding of how things should move and how things should be done. So we are actually wishing, praying, hoping that in the long run, we are actually going to be narrowing down to what really happened.